Hey, it's Joshua again. Same walk, next room. If you did the first one, keep those 2 librarians in your head. We need them. Last time, a storm forced a brutal choice. Today, I am going to hand you a dial that decides how brutal that choice has to be.
Last room, I told you a clean little lie. I said the choice was binary, consistency or availability. Pick one. That is only true at the very edges. The truth is gentler. There is a dial. And once you can see the dial, half of the cloud's menu stops looking like magic. This is the second room on our map. The first room gave us the storm, the forced choice. This room gives us the knob that sets how sharp that choice has to be. So come back to our librarians. But the library has grown. 3 buildings now, not 2. The same books, copied in all 3. And there is a new rule on the wall. Every change has to be signed into the logbooks, which raises 2 quiet questions. When someone changes a record, how many of the 3 logbooks must sign before it counts? And when a reader asks a question, how many do you check before you trust the answer? Say you are lazy on both ends. One building signs a change, just one, and you call it done. A reader walks into one building, and you trust whatever it says. Fast and wrong, because the building you wrote to and the building you read from might not be the same building. The reader sails right past the new record and never sees it. Here is the trick that fixes it, and it is nothing but counting. Give the total number of copies a name. Call it N. N for number. Make a write wait for some of them to sign. Call that number W for write. And make a read check some of them. Call that R for read. Now, the magic rule. If R plus W is greater than N, then the copies you wrote to and the copies you read from cannot avoid each other. They must overlap by at least one building, and that one building is holding the newest record. Let me make it real. 3 copies. Write to 2, read from 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 is greater than 3. So they overlap, guaranteed. You always see the latest. Now, keep this, rent the rest. The principle is yours forever. Agreement is not on or off. It is a dial. You decide how much of the system has to agree before you answer. Say it back on your next step. Agreement is a dial. You set it by counting. That is true of 3 librarians, 3 servers, 3 anything. The label is just the sticker. A textbook calls it a quorum and writes the rule as R plus W greater than N. The Amazon cloud hides the very same dial behind a checkbox and a price. Because you can turn this dial 2 ways and they cost opposite things. Turn W down, write to one building, read from all 3, and writes are cheap and fast, while reads do the heavy lifting. Turn R down, write to all 3, read from 1, and now reads fly, while writes carry the weight. And the binary from the last room? That was just this dial, shoved to its extremes. Availability is the dial turned all the way down. Strong consistency is the dial turned all the way up. So watch the cloud quote you the dial directly. DynamoDB sells you 2 kinds of read. An eventually consistent read, cheap, the dial turned down, and a strongly consistent read, about double the price, because that is the quorum read, the dial turned up. So when an exam says cost sensitive, can tolerate slightly stale data, hear it. It is telling you to turn R down, take the cheap read. And when it says must always read the latest write, it just bought the quorum read full price. The price difference is the dial.
Okay, your turn again. Out loud or in your head. I'll wait. 3 buildings. You have set the dial to write to, read to, a real quorum. Now the storm from the last room rolls back in and it knocks one building offline. 2 questions. Can you still accept a write? And can you still read the very latest?
Yes, to both. 2 buildings are still standing. A write needs 2 signatures. You have 2. A read needs 2. You have 2. And 2 plus 2 still clears 3, so they still overlap. Which means the dial was never only a consistency knob. A quorum is also how you survive the storm and stay correct. You had partition tolerance hiding in your settings the whole time. Keep the 3 buildings in view. We have learned the storm forces a choice, and the dial sets how sharp it is, but you almost never want the dial maxed out everywhere. It is expensive and mostly wasteful. Next room, how to buy just the agreement you actually need, and not 1 millisecond more. 1 breath to seal it. R plus W greater than N. The read and the write must share a copy, and that shared copy holds the truth. The dial does not delete the trade from the last room. It just lets you place it exactly where you want it.
That is The Dial, 2 rooms down. I'm Joshua. I'll see you in the next one.